The only three questions to ask before starting a plumbing business. You're a great plumber, but does that mean you'll be a great business owner? Before you quit your job, before you buy a van, before you print a single business card, you have to answer these three questions honestly, or you're doomed to fail. For any plumber who's ever dreamed of being their own boss, this video is your reality check and your roadmap. For the DIYer or homeowner watching, this will show you the massive difference between a hobby and a profession. And for those already running a plumbing company, this might be your chance to reassess your foundation, to see if maybe you need to think things different. But question number one, are you a technician or are you an entrepreneur? Now, I know a lot of y'all are thinking, Roger, I'm a plumber. I fix leaks. I install water heaters. I unclog drains. That's what I do. And I get it. And that was my mindset in the very beginning because that's great. But being a business owner isn't about just doing the work. It's about building a system that gets the work done, even when you're not the one holding the wrench. I mean, you're not planning on doing every job all by yourself each and every day, are you? If so, you're chucking a truck. You just built yourself a great job. Now, look, I learned this the hard way. When I started my company, I thought I was buying freedom. But instead, I just bought myself a job with a lot longer hours, a lot more stress, and a lot less pay. When you're a company owner, that's the only time in the world people ever get a job working 100 hours for less pay than they were making in 40 hours, just so they could say they worked for themselves. The day that I realized my job was to build a machine, a business that could run without me, that's when things really started to change. That's the first shift you've got to make from plumber to business owner. Because if your company cannot operate without you on the truck, you don't own a business. You just started yourself a whole new job. And I learned this whenever I hired my first coach, Michael Gerber, who wrote the E-Myth book. Guys, if you haven't read it, oh my God, I suggest you read it. That is such a phenomenal book. But you learn there's three roles. You're either the entrepreneur, you're the manager, or you're the technician. If you're trying to do all three, you're only doing each job 33% as good as it could be done. Now, question number two, who's your customer? And just as important, probably more so important, who isn't your customer? When you're first starting out, it's tempting to take on every job that comes your way. You'll do residential, commercial, remodels, drain cleaning. You'll do anything. You'll even fix Aunt Betty's sink on a Sunday afternoon just to get some cash flow going. I understand. I was there. But here's the truth. The fastest way to go broke is to try to serve everyone. The most successful plumbing businesses find a niche and dominate it. Me, I did slab leaks. I did leak detection. Got really, really good at it. Then I got into whole house water filtration. Those two things set me apart from a lot of plumbing companies in town. A lot of plumbing companies did it, but we did it. We talked about it. We talked about it all the time. Maybe you specialize in high-end residential service. Maybe it's commercial maintenance. Maybe you're the drain cleaning king of your entire city. If so, let people know that. But here's the deal. You can't be everything to everyone. The customer you choose determines your pricing, your branding, your trucks, your marketing. Your customers determine everything. And the sooner you define your customer, the faster you'll grow. I've seen plumbers burn out chasing bad customers. The kind who want a discount, they argue at every invoice, or they call you back 6 times for free. Now, you can't build a strong business on weak customers. And trust me, there are some weak customers out there. I've seen those plumbers that say, look, if you've got a bathroom, I'm your guy. Well, what if they're a renter that never pays their rent on time and the landlord's really the one responsible for it and the renter didn't even have permission to call you? Maybe they're not your customer. And the third question, and this is the one that kills more new businesses than anything else. What's your financial go, no go? Do you know what your financial no go, no point is? Starting a business takes cash, insurance, a van, tools, marketing, licenses, all kinds of things. Guys, that stuff adds up fast. But what most plumbers forget is you also need enough operating capital to survive those first 6 to 12 months when money's tight and growth is slow. Now, I didn't do it that way. I'm trying to tell y'all what I would do different now. So if you're counting on jobs to pay next week's bills, you're already in trouble. You've got to know your numbers before you ever start. How much do you need to make each week just to break even? How long can you operate before that extra cash runs out? I watched a really good friend of mine, a plumber who was honestly as good as I was. He might have been better at some things, but I watched him go out of business in less than a year. Not because he wasn't skilled, he had the skills. Not because he didn't care, he loved what he did. But it's because he didn't have a plan. You know, my first coach, like I said, was Michael Gerber, the E-Myth book. One of the most important things that I learned from him is look, you've always got to have a plan. You've got to know what you're doing, why you're doing it, and how you're doing it. But if you're constantly the technician, you can't be the entrepreneur, and you've got to find a way to work on your company, not in your company. This plumber I'm talking about, he didn't know who his customers were. He didn't know what his numbers were. He didn't know his break even. And the bad thing is, he thought hard work alone would save him, so he just kept working harder. Now, it was really sad to watch. When you go from employee to owner, it's not just a job change. It's an identity change. You have to figure out that you're not just a plumber anymore. And guys, you hear me say that all the time. I'm Roger Wakefield. I'm just a plumber. To be honest, at this point, you're an entrepreneur. You're the CEO of your future. You have to start thinking in systems, in strategy, and in people. Now, guys, these 3 questions, technician or entrepreneur, who's your customer, and what's your financial go, no-go? They're not just questions. These are the foundation, the difference between success and failure. Now, here's the thing. Answering these 3 questions is the essential first step. It is your true foundation. But a foundation is useless without a blueprint to build on top of it. Knowing you need to pick a customer is different from knowing how to find the most profitable one. Knowing you need capital is different from knowing how to write a business plan that'll actually get a loan if you need it. That's exactly why I built the Start Your Own Plumbing Business course. Now, I've poured everything I've learned from building a multi-million-dollar company into it. The systems, the mistakes, the lessons, all of it. You've already taken the first step by watching this video. Now it's time to take the next step. Click the link in the description to get your blueprint and start building your empire. Don't just dream about being the boss. Learn how to become the boss. I'm Roger Wakefield, Lead AP, the expert plumber. And be sure to subscribe, ring the bell, and if you're ready to turn your skills into a business, I'll see you in the course.